to the NFL draft, a little more than 24 hours away. To keep ourselves entertained over the next 24 hours, we have playoff basketball, we have playoff hockey, we have MLB, a great slate of MLB. So we obviously are going to go through all the games, all of your questions, give out picks, give out advice, do our research live right here on the show. Welcome in everyone to the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, we're a sports content company created by a sports fan for you real sports fans at home, doing our research every single day to try to help you guys to get the most out of your sports viewing experience. It is so wonderful to see so many familiar handles in the chat, to see so many familiar friends come to Butt Fumble Sports every day to talk some sports. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss a time when we go live. We go live almost every single day across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you're a member of this amazing community of sports fans. We've got Legion of Spoon, great name. Parlay tonight. Valanciunas under, Tatum under, Bam under on rebounds. Jaime over on first quarter points, I'm assuming, 3.5. And Hauser, kind of an interesting idea, Legion of Spoon. Welcome into the show. If you have a question, thanks so much, by the way, PK. If you have a question out there, let us know what you guys are interested in. We're going to do our research live right here on the show. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you'll see it on your screen. If you're watching on TikTok, we'll certainly take all of your questions. We are going to do our research using Outlier, a sports betting research tool, and killersports.com, and look up the best trends, bets, opportunities of the evening, hopefully giving you a good chance to get some wins. Braves, Cincy, under 8.5. Well, the Braves aren't playing Cincy, are saying those two games in a parlay. Don't feel as strongly about that one as you might. Feel like there may be some other opportunities on the board to take some bets that we like. Those feel a little risky. So G Wild Brave, not quite sure what you're going for, but offhand, not what I'm interested in. El Pinche, NFL draft prop. Great, love it. If you have an NFL draft prop that you want to touch on, QBs over 4.5 in the first round, yes, yes, yes. I absolutely believe that there are going to be at least 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. I think it's going to be a very QB heavy first round. Make sure you guys are with us tomorrow night. We are going to do an NFL live show, an NFL draft live show on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you guys are with us. We'll be live around 7:15, 7:30, reacting, having a bit of a watch party to the draft. So reacting with all of you at home. Make sure you join us. We'll talk about fantasy football implications, sports betting implications with futures, as well as just reacting to what happens tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. Philly, Cincy, under 8.5. Yeah, that one's really tight for me. I think you're probably right, G-Wild. It feels like an 8-run kind of game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we end up having it 4-4 going to the 8th or 9th, and then the 5th run being the game winner. So I'm a little bit cautious on that one, G-Wild. Don't feel the same way. Zach, MMA, JJ McCarthy is the big name everyone's talking about. My question is he the Will Levis of this year's draft? Everyone should remember now, Will Levis, he is going to be a joke now from now on. Just like Aaron Rodgers waiting in the draft room became kind of a joke there for years. Will Levis was the guy who was hyped to be going in the first couple of picks and then all of a sudden kept falling and falling and falling and falling and didn't even get drafted in the first round. So there may be some overhype around JJ McCarthy as agents try to make it known that their client could be at risk or not available or whatever it may be. The whole point is, I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to go in the top 4 picks, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe J.J. sneaks up to 4, but I think it would require a trade out, obviously. Gavin Martinez, I took a 4.5 over on QBs. I think that's a good idea. Jay Johnson, Cleveland Guardians, -1.5 today. I really like it, Jay Johnson. I'm going to put that one up on my big board, but before I do, let me show you what Red Sox and Guardians is getting. Right now, the Guardians actually on the money line are -135. I think that's a perfectly fine spot to take them. The Red Sox right now are a mess. They had to put Brian Bayo on the IL. They have a number of players on the IL. And worse, I actually think this Red Sox team felt a little bit of positivity to start the season, and now it feels like the ceiling is starting to crash on their heads. I wouldn't be surprised if we look back as this is one of the moments of the year where they really start to take a tank dive. I think in Cleveland, the Guardians playing really good baseball. I think the Guardians get the win tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if they do get a 2-run win. You can just see, too, the Red Sox bullpen, everyone was talking about in the first couple of weeks of the season being so good. Well, the magic's out of that genie lamp as that bullpen's come back down to earth. I think Guardians on the money line's a very good play, but I'd also willing to consider Guardians minus 1.5, so it's a very good call out from you guys. Arctic Tiger, what happens to the Diamondbacks today? I think they're going to lose. Oh, wait, that game already happened, and they already lost. That said, I thought that game was going to go on the under, so I was happy about how it worked. Sox, Twinkies, over 6. So for all of those out there who heard my rant yesterday, did the White Sox cover a run line? Yes, they did. Twins still won despite the White Sox winning. I got it. Annoying. Forgive me. Hold on 1 second. I got to do this really quick. Let me throw up the disclaimer. I hate how Google will log me out when I already know I want to be logged in. So anyways, and we're back doing our research. I'm going to put up another pick right here. I already said Guardians on the money line. Come on. I already said Guardians on the money line. I'll also say Twins on the money line. Easy ones for me. Definitely putting those two out there. I don't love the over. I actually think that could be a very low-scoring game between the Twins and the White Sox. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a 3-2 kind of game, 4-2 kind of game. So actually, I'm not there with you. I think that's a very low-scoring game. Right now, the total is set at 6.5, so be a little bit cautious on that one. El Pinche, some analysts are saying if Penix falls in the 20s, he's considered a steal. I think if Michael Penix Jr. didn't have leg injuries from his college career, we would be talking about him as a top 10, top 8 quarterback, top 10 or 8 quarter pick in the draft. I actually think Michael Penix Jr. might be one of the best throwers of the football. I know everyone's dazzled by Caleb Williams and compares him to Patrick Mahomes, but who throws the prettiest ball in this draft? It could easily be Michael Penix Jr. That said, the injuries are going to scare some people, so he's going to fall a little bit compared to what it would have been, but I don't think he gets into the 20s. I think he's going to be drafted well ahead of that. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the top 15. If for no other reason than we all know this. If you're a football fan who watches the draft, there are a run on certain positions. People get a little antsy thinking their guy or that position is all of a sudden going to lose its depth. Quarterback is going to be one of those. Wide receiver is going to be one of those. I also actually just wanted to make a comment about the draft because I was thinking about it. Nobody is talking about Joe Alt right now. If I were a team called the New York Jets, I would be praying that Joe Alt fell to me. For the longest time, I've been thinking that Brock Bowers to the New York Jets makes the most amount of sense because adding a tight end to that offense would make them incredibly dynamic. But Joe Alt right now might be the best player outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. who could fall because of the quarterbacks and wide receivers that are going to be there. You could easily make the argument that he is going to be available at number 9. If you're the Jets, getting Joe Alt and adding him to that offensive line, I think would be a no-brainer. Is it sexy? No. Is it probably what keeps Aaron Rodgers healthy and gets you closer to a legit Super Bowl opportunity? I think it is. So while I think Brock Bowers is probably the best bet to go to the Jets, I actually think Joe Alt would be the best scenario for New York Jet fans. El Pinche says Brock Bowers might end up with the Chargers. I wouldn't be surprised by that because I could see the Chargers trading back and then maybe missing out on some of the wide receivers who are available, end up going with Bowers. But to me, if I were the Chargers, I'd really covet a wide receiver, Neighbors, a Doomsday, or obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. Chase Green, do you think Phillies and Reds game will be low-scoring game? Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be around an 8-run game, maybe 9, but it's hard for me to see it being too low-scoring. Really quick, just checking on the weather at that ballpark. It's not as strong as it usually is, but still a more positive outcome towards home runs than compared to a lot of other ballparks. I think it could be a little bit lower scoring, so if you wanted to take the under, I'd get it. Royals 5.5, first five rather. Royals first five is the question I'm getting. I'm going over to ballparkpal.com. I'm not showing it up on my screen because it requires a subscription and they don't sponsor the show. But from the data that they have, Royals in the first five is not considered a good bet. Actually, the Blue Jays have the better probability on that one. Arctic Tiger, very comfortable saying Schwarber and Josh Naylor home run today. Arctic Tiger, love it. Interested by the pick. If you guys have a question, if there's a topic you guys want to talk about, if there's something you care about, let us know. Twins on the money line, we do like that one. How's the money coming in on that game? 93% of the money is on the Twins. I'm right there as well. Frost, would you start Torkelson or Brian Robinson in fantasy today? Great question. I'm going to jump on over actually to my notes right here. Give me one quick second. I'm actually going to Torkelson. Torkelson, we project. Frost, are you on DraftKings or are you on FanDuel? Which one do you use? What's your fantasy user, your sports book of choice, your fantasy book of choice? Let us know, Frost. I want to make sure I'm giving you our projections accurately. Great to have you guys with us. Hope you're enjoying your hump day. I hope there's some hump to your day. For all of those out there, again, make sure you're with us for tomorrow's NFL draft show. Should be starting around 7:15, 7:30. FanDuel is what I'm hearing. So Torkelson on FanDuel, we're projecting around 9.5 points. On the other side for Brian Reynolds, it's 10.5. I'd go Brian Reynolds. Frost, according to ballparkpal.com projections, I would go with Brian Reynolds, Pittsburgh Pirates. That would be the play. Thanks for asking the question, Frost. Elite Detail, Celtics minus 15. I'm not sure I'm going to put this up on the big board, but I do want to show you the reason why I actually think you should take the Heat to cover. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the Miami Heat, when they are an away dog against an opponent greater than 500, average winning percentage greater than 500. The Miami Heat, 10-14, 16-8 though against the spread, have actually been very good against the spread despite the losses. However, let's break things down. On 2 days of rest, when they have 2 days of rest, they are 4-0 against the spread. Again, that's when they're an away dog against an opponent with a winning percentage above 500, and they have at least 2 days of rest. They're actually 4-0 against the spread. They're 3-1 straight up. If I take that away against opponents who have a 500 winning percentage, and I just consider it on 2 days of rest, away dog, doesn't matter, same outcome. So anyways, they've done a brilliant job in this situation when they have multiple days of rest. What does that really speak to? It speaks to Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra does a brilliant job of keeping his team highly focused. Now, the margin of difference in this game was 8 points. It was in Miami's favor. There is reason to actually have your eyes on the Miami Heat tonight. I know that sounds crazy. Do I think the Celtics win? Yes, I do. However, the money is coming down on the Miami Heat. 92% of the tickets are on the Celtics. 57% of the money is on the Miami Heat. Let me repeat that. 92% of the public tickets on the game are on the Celtics. Not a surprise, heavy favorite. However, 57% of the money that's been bet on the money line is on the Miami Heat to win. The Miami Heat are plus 900. If you wanted to put one unit down on it and just call it a fun bet for the evening, I don't think you would be taking an irresponsible risk, even if you lost it. At this point, I think there is too much confidence on the Celtics. I think there is reason to believe that the Miami Heat could shock some people. Do I think they're going to win? No, but I think they're going to cover the 14.5. I think the Miami Heat cover the 14.5. I would take them on the cover. I would take them right now. I'd buy it at 15.5, in part because that's where it opened. They set the line originally at 15.5. It moved to 14.5. I'll show it because I want you guys to see it. I'll put it up on my big board, actually. 15.5 is where I have the Heat. Heat plus 15.5. I am taking Celtics on the money line. I know it's not a good bet in terms of the odds, but if you wanted to take the Heat on the money line, I don't think it would be stupid. I actually think it would be worth a lottery ticket kind of chance. Plus 900, you put down $1, you get 9 out of it. All right, if you lose $1. Some of our best bets lose bucks. Appreciate you guys being with us. Anthony Hamilton is asking about the Mariners in the first 5 innings, and the answer is no. We actually like the Texas Rangers in the first 5. Rangers in the first 5. Jay, Twins money line, check. Braves money line, check. Yankees money line, check. Jay, look, I know it's going to be obvious. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are going to do what I did, but I put those 3 into a round-robin parlays earlier today with like 3-4 times the units that I normally do, and I just said, favorites, take me home. And I'll put it up on my big board, but yep, I'm a believer with you. Braves on the money line and Yankees on the money line. So I'm playing those 4. Guardians money line, Twins money line, Braves money line, and Yankees money line. Those 4, I put them together in a round robin, and I just said I'm going to be committed to those. So I'm right there with you, Jay. Don't bet the minus 115. That's how they got you. I got you, Bo. Rangers bounce back spot. I agree with you. Jojo Rich, I agree with you. I think the Rangers are in for a bounce back spot. Do you think Oklahoma City will cover? Let's take a look at that game very, very quickly. Right now, the line is set at 7.5 in favor of OKC. I want to dive into the stats on this one from the Pelicans side of things. They've been off for 2 days. The one time that they were off for 2 days earlier this year and then were an away dog, they failed to cover the spread. When they had any games greater than 2, nope. So let's just take a look. When they've been an away dog after a loss so far this year, the Pelicans have come back very strong. Pelicans are 8-3-1 against the spread after a loss, and they're an away dog in the next game. If I look at I think it's the previous game margin is less than or equal to 3. Fairly strong as well. It's 8-3-1 again. The point is, Pelicans have done a good job covering after the scenario in which they lost last game. Let's take a look at the Thunder. Thunder as a home favorite after a win. Obviously very strong, 23-4. Let's see. And when their opponent is an average winning percentage greater than 500. 9-4 straight up, but 7-6 against the spread. The 7.5 is interesting. I kind of like that. Home favorite. I'm going to check one more thing. I want to see when the Thunder are a home favorite against a team with a winning record, and the line is greater than -7. The Thunder are 6-0 in that scenario, but they're 3-3 against the spread. That's what I'm going to take for that game. So I've taken the Celtics on the money line, but I took the Heat to cover 15.5. I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to take the Thunder on the money line, but I'll take the Pelicans plus. I'll take them at 9.5. I don't think it's going to be a double-digit game, so I'm kind of playing it a little safe. But it opened at 8.5. I would take it at 9.5. Pelicans plus 9.5 is minus 140. That's how I play this one. I don't think either game is going to be the kind of blowout that we expect, just given how these two teams are going to be more competitive and they've had days off. Chase Green is asking about the first 5 innings for the Atlanta Braves game. The answer is I really like that one. Braves first 5, I do like it. JP, thoughts on the Bruins and Leafs game? Well, first of all, I'm really curious to see how Swayman performs coming back off of his game off. It's only a 1 day off despite the travel. Right now, Maple Leafs are a favorite. 84% of the tickets are on the Bruins to win, but only 58% of the money is on the Bruins to win. So the money is pushing a little back on the Bruins, and the money is giving a little bit more love to the Maple Leafs than we would expect. Same thing can be said about the spread. That actually, if I were a Bruins fan, that would have me a bit concerned. It tells me that the world thinks the Bruins are going to win, but the people who bet this for a living, they're thinking the Maple Leafs get it done. That has me a little bit concerned. And not only that, the Maple Leafs hadn't beat the Bruins all year. They finally did last game. That's one of the reasons, actually, I'm a little bit worried. I think the magic, the mystique is fading from the Bruins a little bit in terms of the hold that they had on the Maple Leafs. Let's take a look when the Bruins are coming off a loss after a win, and then they're on the road as a dog. It's only happened 3 times this year. They won 3. Okay. Interesting. They're not. Are they considered a favorite by killersports.com metrics? Seven and 3. Okay. Kind of interesting. Let's take a look on the Maple Leafs side. After a win, and then they're a home favorite. 10 and 11. Not nearly as good as you'd like. And against an opponent with an average winning percentage above 500. Just seeing how they performed against winning teams. Frankly, not very good at all. 6 and 5 straight up. Rangers. Let's do something. I want to see this. I want to see how the Maple Leafs have done against the Bruins when they've been at home. And I just want to see how this is done since 2020. They've lost the last 3. They had won the previous 3. Their last 3 losses. Okay. Anyways, just making note of it. I'm not going to bet this game. If I were going to bet in any direction, I'd actually bet the Maple Leafs. I actually think the Maple Leafs are a team that has a bit more momentum at the moment, and I'd rather go with the momentum on this one, especially since we can't speak to a hot goaltender for the Bruins. So I'd ride with the Maple Leafs, but I really don't have any trend or anything about that I'm really big into. So take that comment with a grain of salt. I'm not really having high conviction in this Bruins Maple Leafs game. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're always with us every time we go live. Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you sports fans at home. We rant about sports. We talk sports betting. We talk fantasy sports. And hopefully we give you a lot of reason to be entertained in the sports evening, the platter, the buffet of options that you have. We're just trying to enhance your sports viewing experience for the night. Braden is asking about the Leafs and Stars and the over in the Oilers game. Let's look at that Leafs and Stars game. Right now, Stars are getting a lot of love from the money on the money line. But as for the spread, Golden Knights are getting the action there. Personally, I think the Stars win this game, but I'm again, not a game that I'm going to bet because I think that's such a competitive game. It's very hard for me to make that prediction. But let's go back to this for just a second. Let's see how the Stars do. Stars, after a loss, and then they're a home favorite. They've gone 9-5. And when their opponent is above 500 winning percentage, just 4-3. Yeah. How about the Golden Knights? Golden Knights. After a win. And they're an away dog. Wow. Here's a stat for you guys. Check this one out. Braden, you're going to like this. So when the Golden Knights are coming off a win, and then they are a road dog against a team with a winning record above 500, they are 2-6 straight up. 2-6 straight up. I'm taking the Stars on the money line on this one. That trend has me Stars on the money line, but I've got another one here for you. In this scenario, when the Golden Knights are coming off a win, they're a road dog against a team with a winning percentage above 500. The over is 7-1. 7-1. Right now, the money is getting a lot of love on the over. Guys, watch the over. Golden Knights and the Stars, over 5.5. Something's going on in that market, guys. Something about that screams that's a good play. The trends back it, and the fact that the money backs it. Public doesn't think it's a good play. The money's behind it. I take over 5.5. That is a great trend. That's a great trend. I right now, personally, I'd bet it being a 4-3 final score. 4-3 final score. If you want to make it 4-2, if you want to make it 5-3, but I think this one's going over, folks. So anyways, that's a bet for you. Braden, there you go. As for the Oilers game, you were asking about the total in the Oilers game. That one's getting a lot of love on the over as well. Let's take a quick look at it. Under the scenario for the Oilers this evening, I don't really like the over. I do like the Oilers on the money line. I'll go that far, but I don't really like the over. So far we've given out 3 NHL picks for this evening. I'm going Stars on the money line, Golden Knights and Stars over 5.5 goals. Also take the Oilers on the money line as well. Thanks for the questions, guys. iFrost, did you answer my Witt question? No, did not answer your Witt question. Witt over 1.5 total bases. Let me take a quick look at that one for you. Bobby Witt Jr. I don't love it, but I could check on it. Let's dive into it a little bit further. Jump over here to player prop bets here on Outlier. And we'll plug in Bobby Witt Jr. We're looking at total bases. 1.5. The matchup is what we care about. He's never faced this pitcher, but against right-handed pitching so far this year, Bobby Witt Jr. hitting .346, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. He's been kind of hot and cold on terms of total bases. Hasn't had back-to-back games of over 1.5 total bases since April 13th and 14th against the New York Mets in Queens. Head-to-head against Toronto, kind of a similar story there. Over his last 10, we mentioned that. How about specifically at home? Again, very hit or miss. How about against right-handed pitching? Very hit or miss. I don't have enough confidence in it to endorse it. It's an interesting idea, but I'm not going to get behind it. Usually there's got to be what I call a constellation of variables that point in one direction that get me excited about a certain bet, and I'm just not seeing it in Bobby Witt Jr. total bases, so I'm not going to go with that one. Chase Green asks, do you think Hero from the Heat will have 20 points tonight? Let's go take a look. Jumping over to an NBA player prop bet, and we're going with Tyler Hero, looking at his point total this evening. Right now set at 20.5. First things first, injury report for this game. Jimmy Butler is out. Terry Rozier is out. So let's just see how Tyler Hero has done when he's been without Jimmy Butler and when he's been without Terry Rozier in the lineup. and he's been on the road. You can actually see not a great consistency. It had been a time there, but in the past 6 games, he's only gone over 20 points 2 times. Now, against the Boston Celtics under this scenario, hit it once, but that was a couple years ago. That was 2022, so a long time ago at this point. Let's take that out of the equation. Let's just say when he's without Jimmy Butler going up against the Boston Celtics. Hit or miss, not great. How about in the last 20? Decent trend, actually. 13 out of the last 20 on the road, though. Not nearly as consistent once again. So, reasons for me to kind of head to avoid this one. I don't really believe in him getting to 20 points. Head-to-head against the Celtics again has not been a great bet. I think the Celtics will be able to focus more defensive effort towards him without Jimmy Butler on the floor. Given that the matchup that he has is probably going to be a combination of Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum, I'm just not a big believer in Tyler Hero. It's not that I would take the under 20.5 points, though it's probably the better bet. It's that I'm just not interested in this one. I'm willing to step away from it. Kyle Klein, Braves money line, Twins money line, like it. Yankees and Dodgers, what do you like more? I like Braves and Twins more. I like Braves, Twins, and Yankees. The Dodgers, you can just see the Dodgers are not right now. I know they got a win last night, but they are having trouble against the Nationals. That's a game I've actually got my eye on in terms of, yes, I like the Dodgers, but how much do I like the Dodgers? Let's see how the money's coming down on this game. Interesting, the money is very heavy on the Dodgers, not surprising. So maybe you want to take the Dodgers. Dodgers are minus 175, so it actually isn't a terrible play, given the Dodgers so recently have been in the minus 200, minus 220 range. Might be one of the rare days in which you can get them at a good price. Someone's asking about the Rockies plus 1.5. Let's take a look at that game very quickly. Rockies hosting the Padres. Right now, the money is heavily on the Padres. Let's just take a look at it from a trend standpoint for a second. Let's see if there's any reason to really buy into the Colorado Rockies so far this year. Rockies are a home dog, and they're coming off a loss. Let's see how they've done in this scenario so far this year. They're 4-4 straight up. Oh, are they coming off a win? Did they win last night? Yeah, they did. Okay, here's a trend for you. When the Dodgers are a home underdog coming off a win, they are 0-3. They are 0-3. So I'm willing to take the Padres tonight. I'll put that up on my big board as well. Padres on the money line. It's been a pretty good trend. Do I actually mean that, though? I got to double check to see if my notes actually confirm yeah, I'd go Padres on the money line, actually very heavily. Padres on the money line, everybody. Get in on that one. So I actually have 5 MLB bets on the board, and I really frankly, I love the board that we're putting together. You know that means probably the sports betting gods will be against us. But that said, Guardians on the money line, Twins on the money line, Braves on the money line, Yankees on the money line, and Padres on the money line. Those are the 5 MLB bets that we've put up on the board, and I have to admit, I feel very good about them. I think you could add the Dodgers. I'm not going to for the moment, but I do think you could add the Dodgers this evening as well, and you could play a very heavy game tonight. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Matthew, I like the Heat to cover plus 15.5, but I do have the Celtics on the money line. Diego, here's my parlay. Heat to cover. Boston, Miami, over 202.5. It is a low total. Let's actually take a look at that total. I'm kind of curious. I'm just gonna focus on when a total has been this, around this level all season long. So when we've had a total equal to or less than 205 all year long, hasn't happened very often. Let's take a look at how many times, in fact, it has happened. As killersports.com gets loaded. Diego, the other ones, Pels plus 7.5, Leafs, Stars, Oilers. Like what you got going so far, Diego. You're certainly not hearing me counter you. Just waiting for killersports.com to load. While it does, just a reminder, we're going to do a show for the NFL draft tomorrow night, the first round of the draft. Make sure you guys join us. We will be live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, just reacting to everything that's going on in the NFL world. Okay. There have been 5 games this year that have had a total less than 205. First of all, the home team has won 3 out of the 5 and covered 4 out of the 5. Interesting note. But the total was straight even. And let's say, I want to expand this out. I want to say since 2020. I got to do this. Okay, we're going to look at games since 2020 in which the total has been less than 205 points. The under's been a better play. I'm not going to bet the total in this one, but the under has been a better play, which is interesting. That said, I think the best bet from that NBA game tonight between the Heat and the Celtics, I think it's the Heat to cover because the Celtics winning doesn't give you a lot of value, but I think the Heat could cover that massive spread. Travis, how do you feel about taking the Cubs plus 1.5 or over 7.5 in the game? Talking about the Cubs and Astros game. Man, I'd rather take the Cubs plus 1.5. That's what I'd rather take, Travis. Cubs plus 1.5. Okay, the rich dude from Telegram, Yankees plus 1.5. Check. Braves on the run line. I actually do like that one as well. Yep, I do like that. Royals plus 1.5. That's going to be tight. I think yes, but that one's going to be tight. You might be nervous on that one. Jay, would you take the Dodgers minus 1.5? Personally, I wouldn't. I don't have enough confidence in it. I guess I would if you believe in Landon Knack, the starting pitcher that they have going. I just don't think it's a good enough play. Maybe put it into a parlay, your money line with a parlay. Do I like the Bruins this evening? I do not. I'm going to avoid the Bruins. Pretty sure Salvador Perez over 2 hits, but feel good about a home run. Arctic Tiger is asking about Salvador Perez. Let's take a quick look at Salvador Perez while we have a moment. Appreciate you guys for being with us. Hope you guys love the show. If you do, let us know about it. DM me on Instagram, Butt Sports. That's Butt Sports on Instagram. Let us know what you think of the show. Always love getting feedback from you guys. Now, over half a hit this evening. Let's just take a look for Salvador Perez's matchup that he has so far this year against right-handed pitching. Hitting .328. He has been very, very good against right-handed pitching. Salvador Perez continues to be one of the best, least talked about players in all of Major League Baseball. Salvador Perez, opportunity to get a hit? Very much so. I think Salvador Perez over half a hit is a very good play. Right now, over half a hit, you can get at minus 119 on Prize Picks, around minus 265 on DraftKings, so not a great bet. But Salvador Perez, over half a hit. The question is, can you get him hit, run, and RBI and feel good about it? It's been actually a decent play so far this year. At home, against righties, 7 of the first 10 games. I like Salvador Perez over half a hit. If you wanted to take him hit, run, and RBI, wouldn't be a terrible idea either. Appreciate you guys being with us. Kyle Klein, Braves, Twins. Yep, we like it. I got you, buddy. And iFrost, now we're on the same page. Mike Trout over 1 home run. Interesting. I did think about Mike Trout. Now, that game is going on right now, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a little late to get in on the action for that game. But that said, Mike Trout, I thought he was gonna have a big game today. So I did bet him earlier in the day. When can I see everything you're typing? Let's do a quick recap right now. Here are all the bets that we've given out so far during the show. I have Guardians on the money line, Twins on the money line, Braves on the money line, Yankees on the money line, Padres on the money line. Heat plus 15.5. Celtics on the money line. Thunder on the money line. Pelicans plus 9.5. Stars on the money line. Golden Knights and Stars over 5.5. And the Oilers on the money line. Great to have you guys with us. Twins, twins, twins. We're about it. We're feeling the Twins today. Chet, over 14.5 points. Let's go jump on over to our NBA player prop bets. If any of you guys are curious about some player prop bets, get those questions in now. Let's take a look at Chet Holmgren. Can he get to 15.5 points? That's what the total is set at. Matchup that he has tonight is not a favorable one. The Pelicans are the 6th ranked defense when it comes to power forwards and points allowed. Hasn't been very strong trend as well. He's really been kind of hitting his ceiling at around 15 points. Home games over his last 10 home games, only gone over this total 3 times. Head-to-head against the Pelicans. Had been a very good trend hitting the over prior to Game 1, but it did fail in Game 1. I would tend to say avoid this. I just don't feel like there's a very good play. If you do want to take it over, maybe slide it down to over 14.5, but really I think it's better to avoid it. Kyle Klein is reminding us, everybody out there, remember to take your vitamins. That is also known as betting against the Chicago White Sox. We are today, so make sure you get your vitamin CWS. That is to bet against the Chicago White Sox. We do every single day here at Butt Fumble Sports because there is no franchise in professional sports that personifies losing right now more than the White Sox. They did it again last night. Thank you very much. So we are betting against the White Sox. We are betting on the Twins. And we are taking our daily vitamin. Thank you for the reminder out there. Kyle Klein, such a loyal viewer. Phillies Reds over 8.5. I don't feel great about it either way. I feel like we're right on the line. Oh, Mike. Great to see you, Mike. It's been a long time. iFrost it is. Mike, whatever you call yourself. Great to see you on the show. William Contreras over half a hit. Let's take a quick look at that one. Oh, and I just close that. Let's take a quick look at Contreras and over half a hit for him. The matchup that he has against left-handed pitching, 308 average, really strong. As a trend, very strong as well. Cashed in 7 of the last 10 games against left-handed pitching. 8 of the last 10, has missed in the last 2. But the fact that it's missed in the last 2 makes me think he's a little bit due, actually. Not that that's something I want to endorse. But William Contreras, 0 for half a hit. I do like that one. I'm not going to put it up on the board because it's not great odds, but I think you're onto something there. Chase Green, thanks for the kind words. Certainly appreciate you saying it. Wonderful to have you guys supporting the show every single day like you do. Great to know that there's so many butt fumblers out there. Any no home run games out there? Okay. If I'm looking at no home run games, what are the ones that I'm looking at for today? There are actually a number of games in which poor likelihood of home runs. Wrigley Field, bad weather in terms of home runs. I could see the Astros and Cubs having a no home run kind of day. How about the Red Sox and the Guardians? They've got really bad wind coming in. Should be a cold, blustery day in Cleveland. I'm not expecting home runs in that one. How about the Blue Jays and the Royals? Once again, be wary of that for a home run. I don't think there's a good opportunity there. Arizona and St. Louis, that game already happened. White Sox and Twins, not a good likelihood of home run. So those are a bunch of games right there. Blade Brown, that you might want to consider the no home run play. If you love the content and you love the show, make sure you hit that follow button. Your Don goes yard, first AB. There you go, money man. Hope you bet it. Tigers on the money line. Good question. Just jumping on over to look at the Tigers. Tigers, Rays. I'd rather go with the Rays on the money line. Rays on the money line, and in fact, I'll actually put that one up on my board as well. I'm taking the Rays on the money line. Rays on the money line. Billboard. We talked about the Heat a little bit earlier. I have the Heat to cover, but I actually think Heat on the money line is a bet worth making for the return on investment. 9-1 odds. I think it's worth it. It's a plus 900 bet. I think it might be worth it to put a unit or a unit and a half down on the Heat to win. If you lose, no big deal. But if you win, nice bit of a return on that one. Thoughts on the Phillies game? I really feel like it's a coin flip. I feel like it's going to be a 4-4, 3-4 kind of game going to the final innings. Then it's just about, does someone squeeze across a late run? Who's winning, the Blue Jays and the Royals? I tend to say the Blue Jays are going to win that game. Don't feel like the Royals get the dub. Who do you like more tonight? J-Dub or Chet? Probably say J-Dub. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are watching the show. Tyler Bertuzzi, do I think he scores tonight? Don't really know. I do think that Austin Matthews gets another goal in this series, though. I do think he gets another goal this evening. Appreciate you guys watching the show. I've got a runoff now. I actually have an obligation. I'm going to the theater, Broadway. Your boy doesn't just do sports. He also does a bit of Broadway. That said, it's a new play with Steve Carell. So I'm going to the opening of that. I know, bougie, bougie, bougie. But that said, leaving the sports behind us, quick reminder of all the bets that we've given out right now. The picks that we've given out during the show are Guardians on the money line, Twins on the money line, Braves on the money line, Yankees on the money line, Padres on the money line, and Rays on the money line. We also have Heat plus 15.5, Celtics on the money line, Thunder on the money line, and Pelicans plus 9.5. Finally, in the NHL, we've got Stars money line, Golden Knights Stars over 5.5, and the Oilers on the money line. It is awesome talking sports with you guys every single day. I hope you guys know it is the absolute peak thrill, best part of my day. Hope it is for you guys as well. Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss a time when we go live. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again tomorrow, because tomorrow is NFL Draft Round 1. We're finally freaking here. The NFL season really gets underway tomorrow night. I hope you guys join us. We will be doing a live show for our regular sports betting show at 5 o'clock tomorrow. And then we will do our NFL draft show at 7:30, starting at 7:30, as I will do a watch party for the entire first round of the draft, watching the entire show, entire draft, every pick, every trade with you guys tomorrow. Can't wait to do it. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy sports, everybody. Remember a few years ago when there were no sports at this time? This is the peak part of the year. We got MLB, we got NHL, we got NBA, and now we're going to have NFL tomorrow. Cannot wait for it. Hope you guys join us again then. Until then, enjoy this evening. Be healthy, be safe, and I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.